No, there's Lyndon Longhorn. What a race he had yesterday against Harvey Phillips in that 50 metres breaststroke. He is a British record holder in the S4 classification. And on the other side of the pool, with his 10-month-old baby on the shirt, front of the shirt, Zach Washington Young. You'll be watching at home. Ollie Carter. Well, great swims that Ollie Carter had in the 100 metres butterfly. 27.01 in qualification. He'll be looking to go a little bit faster. Thomas Navarro-Barber, well, he had a great swim under the 27-second mark for the first time this morning. He goes in the S9 class. Kieran Williams is an S10 swimmer with a minimal physical impairment. The two visually impaired swimmers in the centre. There's Matthew Redfern. 25.52 was an S13 British record. And Stephen Clegg, well, multiple nomination times achieved. And if anyone's going to do a nomination time in this final, it is likely to be Stephen Clegg, the British record holder in the S12 class. Very fast, 24.33. Well, can Matthew Redfern hold on to the speed of Stephen Clegg in the centre? Can Thomas Navarro-Barber get a little bit faster? He's got a long way to go to achieve the nomination time for the S9 classification, 26.04. 26.98 in qualification, big improvement for him, but he may well be able to do something special. There's Clegg, taking his time at the end of the lane. Lowest numerical class is Lyndon Longhorn. He's got that towel on the blocks. He's allowed to do that. He has to get, obviously, dispensation from the technical officials to do that. And the para swimmers can have adapted starts. It's all got to be agreed by the referee. We'll keep an eye on the points totals for Longhorn and Zach Washington Young, but the fast guys in the middle may well be the ones to the wall first, and the highest points totals we shall find out. Good start, good reaction there from lane 4, Stephen Clegg. Matthew Redfern already half a body length down at the very early stages there. Kieran Williams going well in 3, but Stephen Clegg here, can he dip under the standard? 24.20, very tough nomination time, but here's Stephen Clegg into the wall now. The S12 swimmer, 24.66 for Stephen Clegg, just 0.3 of a second outside his own British record. It's another improvement for Matthew Redfern, so that will be a British record for Matthew, and again an improvement for Thomas Navarro-Barber. Well, what a couple of swims he has put together. 26.61 as Lyndon Longhorn completes the distance in 524 points. Well, it was always going to be a battle of the visually impaired at the front of the field there, and Stephen Clegg was the one that got the better of Matthew Redfern. But Matthew Redfern, I have to say, has had a great week, improving his times every time he's hit the water, but he couldn't match the class of Stephen Clegg. Clegg was away very, very fast. Look at that lead that he had over Matthew Redfern in the early stages. Redfern hung on though. And Stephen Clegg touching the wall there, 24.66 with Redfern 25.25, close behind. The result, I think, is confirmed. There we go. The S12, Stephen Clegg gets in 810 points for Stephen. Matthew Redfern, 776 points. And look at that time, 26.61. Wow, massive improvement for Thomas Navarro-Barber there to force his way onto the medal podium. He will be delighted with that swim. And the 3 medalists make their way over for a chat with John Mason.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, can I get a round of applause for your British medalists? Stephen, I'm going to jump in here. You have had a busy week. I'm seeing you a lot. I know you looked up there and said, did I get the British record? Close, close. But after a week like this, the body must be feeling tired.
Yeah, you know, it's been a really tough week. of racing, just back to back to back to back. My schedule in Paris is going to be really busy anyway. I wanted to see how close I get to that nomination standard. My PB coming into it was outside, so it was going to be tough, but off the back of a really tough week of racing, I'm pretty happy with that time.
And you've been hitting the nomination times across a bunch of different events. You had 4 events in Rio as well, 3 events in Tokyo, 3 medals in Tokyo. We're looking at repeating something like that in Paris, yeah?
Yeah, I'm like 28 in Paris, so well, I'm 28 now, but I keep trying to lie to myself and tell I'm still young. But Paris this year is going to be my big one. I'm feeling ready, body feels good, and I feel like I'm at my prime of my career. So I want to go into Paris, give myself the best opportunity to deliver an unbelievable performance and outdo myself from previous games.
Yeah, well, look, amazing stuff. Well done. Another British title, ladies and gentlemen. Stephen Clegg. So, Matthew Redfern, British records for S13. Can we get a round of applause for that, ladies and gentlemen? I spoke to you after your heats. You said there was a couple of little things you wanted to fix, like your breakout at the start, because in a 50 they really count. And you seem to get it right tonight.
Yeah, I was really happy with the swim. Couldn't really have done much more. It's bittersweet because I PB'd it, I got the British record, but just missed out on the time that I would have needed for Paris. So part of me is happy, excited, but the other part's just a little bit disappointed.
I know it's the sport, I suppose, but you really have had a massive week. We did it in the 100 free as well earlier, so there has been massive progressions for you. You're heading definitely in that right direction.
Yeah, my week has been, I couldn't really have asked for more. I PB'd every single time I swam, so I've had a good week, but yeah, it's just ended on that. Almost. Almost.
Well, look, congratulations, a silver medal and a British record. We love it. Thomas, I'm just going to pop in here quickly. A bronze medal, a fantastic performance for you, getting up here on the podium with some of these big boys.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing getting a medal with the likes of Stephen Clegg and Matt Redfern. I enjoyed it. Finally went the sub-27 barrier trying to hit for ages.
Yeah. An amazing achievement. Well, look, congratulations. A bronze medal. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for your British medalists.
So there are the medalists. Thomas Navarro Barber, well, what a great performance he had. The recognisable figure of the one and only Mark Foster in the pool again tonight. 50 freestyle specialist over the years, world champion. I think 6-time an Olympian, Mark Foster. Had 10 years held up world record for. So the man that all the 50 freestylers looked up to. And there is new British record holder Matt Redfern with the winner Stephen Clegg, Thomas Navarro Barber.